Assalamualaikum to my dear lecturer, Dr. Juliana Ibrahim. For BCM 664, Construction Technology 6, I would like to represent our group for our portfolio task. Our case study is related to mooring dolphin structure. First of all, I would like to introduce our best team member. Our team consists of Muhammad Amir Farhan bin Muhammad Katman, Nur Farhanis binti Rashid, Nur Farhana binti Rahman Subri, Nur Ain Nasrin binti Azlan, and Muhammad Naim bin Muhammad Fauzi. To start with, the objective of the case study are such follows. The first one is to identify what is mooring dolphin structure and how it be applied. Second, to study the cases that apply with mooring dolphin structure. Third, to study the method and challenges of mooring dolphin structure. The case study that we choose is improvement of mooring configurations in Gibraltar Harbour. Berth operability may be severely degraded at ports exposed to high-energy long-wave conditions. Gibraltar is possibly the most well-known example. Recent studies to alleviate the difficulties have focused on reducing long waves by expanding the breakwater. The study defines and analyzes several countermeasures linked to mooring arrangement. These possibilities were weighed against the current mooring layout and the possibility of extending the breakwater. First, use of shore-based mooring lines, installation of softer fenders, a combination of shore-based mooring lines and install of softer fenders, deployment of Kevatite Moormaster TM devices. Next, element of system. Mooring dolphins are used for mooring and for securing vessels to the dock. They are also frequently used in near-to-pier structures to regulate the transverse movement of berthing vessels. Next, construction method. There are three main ways in which a mooring dolphin can be installed. First, jetting. Second, hammering. And third, drilling. Each of these methods were developed for different construction environments. For jetting works best if the underwater ground is soft. A high-pressure water pump is used to blow a deep hole into the ground underwater where the steel pipe piling will be set. After the hole is blown, the piling is placed inside the hole and sand is pushed back around the piling to fill the remaining space and keep the piling in place. The second method is hammering. Hammering is an excellent choice When there are a large number of rocks present, the hammering process forces small and medium-sized rocks out of the way and also can break through a layer of clay. Hammering will not work well on large rocks. And the last method is drilling. If large rocks are present, drilling is the best method to penetrate them. Using this method, pipe pile is drilled and installed right into the rock. Next, challenges and issues occurred on site. Even though the port is in a safe place, there have been problems with broken marine lines and excessive ship's motions caused by long-term waves in the port. Additionally, the operability of certain berths has deteriorated as a result of successive construction activity, most notably, the addition of berths, the construction of the Batavia Coast Marina to the east of the port, and the last one is the deepening of the entrance, channel, and port basins. There are several options available to improve the mooring conditions of a vessel at berth. There are in general two ways to achieve this. Reducing mooring loads by softening the mooring system. It is generally applied at offshore berths in large seas or swells. Conventional buoy moorings and single-point moorings are very soft, allowing the ship to move freely. At offshore jetties, the mooring dolphins are placed far away from the berthing line, and often soft fenders are used to allow larger movements of the ship. Second, reducing the response of the ships by constraining it more. The second approach works such that the vessel is not able to build up momentum and therefore the mooring loads are smaller, even though the mooring system itself is stiffer. Alternative mooring systems are generally based on this philosophy. Then, environmental consideration. All of these practices, including anchoring, traditional block and tackle moorings, and vessels grounding, disturb the bottom substrates, seagrass, meadows, and coral reefs. Additionally, vessels present operational noise and engine exhaust have all been shown to have a detrimental effect on a variety of aquatic and bird species. Direct damage from unrestricted anchoring poses a serious threat to reef communities with large anchors and chains able to pulverize coral colonies and smash reef structures. Vessels operations accompanying onshore activities and accidental incidents all contribute to chemical environmental consequences with different synergetic and cascade effects. The most important chemical consequences arise from operating and accidental discharge of hydrocarbons, for example, fuels and lubricants, anti-fouling applications, and human waste, such as sewage influence.
Mooring operations must be discussed and agreed with him before the vessel arrives at the berth. Officers in charge of mooring must clearly understand the mooring plan, and all possible preparations must be made on the vessel in preparation for mooring. For a ship to remain secure at its berth, the moorings must overcome a variety of forces made up from the effects of wind, the effect of which greatly increases with the increase of freeboard and is at times a critical factor for safe moving. Current, in case of which forces become significant when the clearance under the keel is small relative to the draft. The ship then acts as a major obstruction to the flow of current, thus magnifying its effect. Surges from passing ships. Rise and fall of tides. Waves and swell. The mooring pattern must be able to cope with environmental forces from any direction. The best pattern can be achieved by splitting these forces into their transverse and fore and aft components, and then placing mooring lines as symmetrically as possible about the midship line of the ship. Breast lines provide the bulk of the transverse restraint against off-the-berth forces. Breast lines should be as much as possible at right angles to the ship's fore and aft line, and as far forward and aft as possible. Back springs provide the largest proportion of the longitudinal restraint. Spring lines should be as parallel as possible to the fore and aft line of the ship. It should be noted that spring lines provide restraint in two directions, forward and aft, and only one set of springs will be stressed at any particular moment. Headlines and stern lines, because of their direction, have the effect of providing some restraint against both longitudinal and transverse forces, but actually contribute less to the overall mooring strength than is commonly seen.
As conclusion, mooring is a procedure to anchor the ship to a fixed or floating element and keep it connected during loading or unloading operations. Safe mooring must withstand several forces such as wind, the current, the tide, and the waves. The management of mooring operation is the key aspect of the management of ships and ensuring the safety of seafarers. A guide for a mooring line which enables the line to be passed through a ship bulwark or other barrier, or to change direction through a congested area without snagging or fouling.
Thank you very much!